Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we are looking at the first episode of the Righteous Gemstones, episode 1. It is simply called the Righteous Gemstones. They put a lot of thought into that name, you see. This is a new HBO comedy drama about evangelicals, starring John Goodman, Danny McBride, who's also the writer and director of like a lot. Well, it seems like he's.
We know he is of the first one anyway, right?
Yeah, he writes every episode listed on Wikipedia so far, which I don't think is all the episodes. I think there's only 6 there so far. I think there's like 9 total. Danny McBride's at least one of the writers on all the episodes, and he directed this first episode. In fact, the next 2 are directed by David Gordon Green, who just did the 2018 Halloween movie. I will try not to throw shade around based on my feelings for that film. I will try and contain
myself. Those 2 are usually a pretty good pair, though. Have you watched any of the HBO Danny McBride collaborations?
I've never seen Eastbound Down.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Is there any other ones?
Vice Principals.
No, I've never seen that either.
That was very, very much like this episode. Got a lot of Vice Principal vibes.
Okay. So the evangelicals, and they are rich. They're on TV all the time. They're doing these big congregations, like concert halls full of people. The first episode opens with them in China doing like mass baptisms, with just rows of people coming to be baptized in this swimming pool. And so clearly, sitting here as a pair of atheists, we completely relate to all of this. But no,
I mean, I'm sure you've related to like trying to find something on TV and it's nothing but evangelicals on for some reason in the morning.
Well, I did not grow up in the US, so no, that's I cannot relate to that.
I guess that's not universal.
Yes, no. The 3-4 a.m. random crap on TV tends to just be the TV shopping thing that happens like after a certain time on a lot of channels.
Yeah, we have that here too.
Yeah, it tends to just be that. And yeah, what is it? Do they think all the hardcore Christians are all up at like 4 a.m.?
I mean, probably because they tend to cater to seniors who are up early. Yeah.
Okay. 4 a.m.
early.
4 a.m. early. Okay.
Well, I don't know about 4 a.m., but definitely before dawn.
Okay.
I mean, the evangelical shows go on, especially on weekends. They go on like until noon.
So, yeah, I've never seen that in my life. So
very fortunate.
Yeah, so we'll start spoiler free, of course, before we go into spoilers, and we'll give your impressions, and then go into the plot a bit deeper in the back half of the review. So this is a new HBO show, which means it does have swearing, does have some nudity, even though it's based around evangelicals, or televangelicals, I believe is the correct term. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah. Is that how you say it? Mm-hmm. Televangelicals? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think so.
Yeah, so obviously you're expecting something of a comedy here. You expect it to be a bit over the top. You're expecting maybe a bit of satire in what it's doing with its subject matter. At no point watching this did I feel like they're trying to actually promote this lifestyle. They are being critical of it.
Yeah, this is not made by Christians.
No. This is
or
made
devoted Christians anyway.
Yeah, no, there's a cynical side to this show for sure. And the first episode is largely them just coming back from their trip and setting up this big Sunday service in their big concert hall, and it deals with a blackmail that happens of Danny McBride's character Jesse, where he has to try and stop a scandal from getting out based on something that he's done in recent times. So that's all really safe for the plot. We can basically just talk about the characters, because you've got John Goodman plays the father. He plays Eli Gemstone, who's the big man in charge. He's got 3 kids. Danny McBride plays Jesse. You have Edie Patterson as Judy, and you have Adam Devine as Kelvin. And I didn't even know he was in this. That was a pleasant surprise when.
Are you a Workaholics fan?
No, I've never seen that.
Me neither. Like, I know he's really funny because I've seen him guest star in other shows, but I don't really know.
No, I saw him.
I don't know what he's famous for.
Yeah, I saw him for the first time in a horror comedy called The Final Girls, which I actually really like a lot. It has. I
think I've heard you bring it up before.
It's Vera Farmiga's younger sister, Tessa Farmiga.
Okay, yeah, that's where I heard you bring it up
Yeah,
before, because we reviewed a Twilight Zone episode with her in it,
that's right.
and she
That's right.
brought it
Yeah.
up.
And I always say how I always thought she was Vera's daughter at first because there's such an
Yeah,
age difference. Because they are, there's like 20 years between them. Like, it's a fair
yeah, and
assumption to make.
they look so much alike. Yeah.
But the plot of the movie is really fun actually because she plays this kid who, well, I say kid, she's like 20, but like the whole idea is that her mother was in like a slasher movie in the 80s, and her mum dies, at the start of the movie like a few years ago, and then she goes into the movie with her friend's last action hero style and sees her mother's character there, played by her mother in the movie. But it's a horror comedy. It's dealing with all the tropes of the slasher movie at this summer camp. But it's a really fun time. But Adam Devine's in that, and he plays the 80s jock douchebag, right? So the joke with him is that all the characters that come from present day are all pretty like straightforward people. They're all, one guy's kind of a good looking jock, but he's actually a pretty down to earth guy, and so on and so on. And Adam Devine rolls in and starts just shouting really sexist and homophobic things and how much he wants pussy and things like that. And it makes like a homophobic joke to like the present day jock, and the guy's like, well, I have two dads. Wait, no. Like, it's pointing at all the tropes of the 80s stuff, and it's just...
So is this like a real like turn of character for him then? Is he like doing something totally different here
Um,
than usual?
I wouldn't say totally different, because he's got a very punchable face, and I say that lovingly, but he does. He has a very punchable face, and...
He still plays a very punchable character.
He does. He really does. He has a really kind of douchebag quality. And again, I like him. I like him as a douchebag, but he is a douchebag. That's who he plays. I saw him in a Netflix movie earlier this year, or maybe it was last year now, but it was a time travel movie actually, where he went into a photo booth and it would always send him back to the day he met this girl who ended up with not his best friend, but someone else. So he kept trying to go back and change the events of the day so that she would fall for him instead. And it's one of those movies where you can guess what the ending's going to be like 5 minutes in. You're like, I know how this is going to... I know what lesson he's going to learn. I know what's going to happen. And to be fair, though, the girl that he's trying to like convince to fall for him is Alexander Daddario. I can't fault him for trying. So... But, yeah, so I saw him in that. So I know him from a couple of things that he's shown up in. So it was just nice to see him. But yeah, so they're all very different characters. Eli is this sleazy 40-something... like, thinks he's the hotshot, thinks he's the next in line for the throne, the gemstone fortune.
You mean Jesse?
Jesse, yes. What did I say?
Eli.
Sorry.
Eli is John Goodman.
Eli is John Goodman, the father. Yes,
the father.
That's a very important distinction. And Kelvin's Kelly, younger brother, who always gets picked on by him. And we see a lot of evidence of that. Judy, the sister, is an interesting character in that she doesn't get brought along for these trips, isn't treated equally like those guys are. And this is something that's brought up throughout the episode a couple of times, mainly from her fiancé, who kind of sticks up for her. And there's actually a really funny moment in a dinner table scene, which we'll get to in spoilers.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
There's a really, really fun on-the-nose bit about how it flips something, and it was really good. So... I mean, yeah, I guess I'm giving it away, but I actually kind of enjoyed this.
Yeah, me too. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Like, not every joke necessarily lands for me. Sometimes Diane McBride can be a little too Diane McBride for me, but like...
I get that, but I do really like Danny McBride. I know he always plays the same type of character.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe with different... I don't know, like... like he's not playing Kenny Powers in this show. He's playing Kenny Powers is the name of his character in Eastbound and Down, who is super douchey, but also like a star athlete he's basically like a rock star who's down on his luck in that show. This one, he's still a rock star, but he still has a different disposition. So it's a different enough character. But I do really like him. Like, I always like Danny McBride. And I always want him to be Kenny Powers when I see him. So if he's not Kenny Powers, then I'm going to be like, oh, I'm disappointed that I don't get my Danny McBride.
Nah, see, my opinion on Danny McBride's a lot more obscure than that, because I saw him in a couple of movies that I really didn't like. I saw him in Your Highness, and I saw him in... what was that one with Franco?
I watched that one too. That movie's garbage.
Yeah. What was the one with Franco, though?
Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express. I also hated that.
I don't like that movie either.
Yeah. So my opinion of Dynamite Bride is not being loving, let's just say. And then, of course, him and David Gordon Green did that new Halloween movie, which I pretty much hated as a Halloween fan. So,
What about Tropic Thunder? Do you like him in that?
it's been a while. I didn't hate that movie when I saw it, but
Yeah.
but
He
it's been,
plays the guy who's in charge of like all the fire effects and such. And
yeah, I don't remember hating him in that. I don't
okay.
remember, but
Because that's basically the same character he plays all the time.
I think I forgot he existed after that until I saw Pineapple Express. I think there was a gap there where I just didn't know about him for a long time.
That might have been the first thing I've seen him in too.
Yeah. The most memorable part of Tropic Thunder is always that weird Tom Cruise cameo that
Yeah.
just comes out of nowhere.
And that moment that in the audience where everybody realizes that it's Tom Cruise and like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why it looks so familiar.
Yeah, they kept that a secret. That was good. There's a great story from Tom Cruise actually for Collateral. It's on the Blu-ray and DVD extras where his whole thing in that is that he was like this like really low key hitman, and for sort of practice for that role, he went into, I think it was like an airport dressed as a FedEx driver with sunglasses on, and no one recognized him. He went in with a package and walked back out, and no one. And the whole idea is that he could just, even though he's Tom Cruise, could sneak in. Well, not
Yeah,
sneak,
he's
but
like one of the most recognizable
Yeah.
people on earth. Yeah.
but all he had to do was like just act a certain way, wear something a little bit different for him, and that was it.
He's right.
So so when people say the Clark Kent thing wouldn't work, right? It would. And my prime example for that is always go look up a photo of Zooey Deschanel without bangs and tell me it looks like the same person, because it does not.
I'll take your word for it.
It's insane. It's like, holy shit, it's a completely different person. So no, so no, he was. I mean, he's not my favorite part of the episode for sure. Although there's definitely some humor with him that I did like a lot. I liked the bickering between the siblings probably the most. There's one in particular when they're because the mother of the family's dead. She's they've got like this big ridiculous memorial pawn thing for the mother. And there's a scene there where there's bickering between them about Judy's fiance that really cracked me up. It was probably the first time in the episode that I proper belly laughed a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was really taking the idea of these are like ultra Christians and we're going to use that to get humor out of them. And that was where I really started laughing in the episode. The first episode was a full hour and it spends time interesting in the characters. It never dragged for me though, to be fair. Like it actually went in really easy.
Yeah, I say this has a lot of similarities to Vice Principals, which every episode, if you watch like the coming up next, you would get an idea of what the show would be. And then when you actually sat down to watch it, you're like, oh, this went in directions that were way darker and I did not expect. And there's a lot of that in this too.
There's a dark element of this episode that I like a lot, actually. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So before we actually jump into spoilers and stuff, I'll just sort of sum up my feelings. It's actually pretty funny. It feels like it's just got the right amount of self-awareness about the sort of characters they're dealing with, that it knows what it's doing. It has that kind of like... what did I compare it to? It feels like... This is a bad comparison, but it's not quite It's Always Sunny, right? Or Seinfeld.
No, but I see what you mean, because these are not likable people.
Exactly,
but
yeah.
when things start happening to them, like you do find yourself going, oh no, they're in trouble. How are they going to get out of this?
Yeah, you don't really care about their well-being, but you do enjoy laughing about them getting into trouble and getting out of it and all that kind of thing. Because Seinfeld was always said, it's a show about four assholes, and well, that's true to a point. They're much more likable and sort of relatable, I think, because they're sort of down-to-earth assholes. Like, they're sort of like all the opinions they have, you find yourself agreeing with a lot of them sometimes, whereas then you got to It's Always Sunny, and they're like more cartoony. Like, they're so over the top and like evil at times, where you just, okay, I can't like these people as people, but they're fun to watch because they're so ridiculous. This is kind of in that vein where you're like, okay, these people are kind of awful, but you're into
You're
it.
clearly watching a family of villains.
Yeah, exactly.
But for some reason, I don't know, I still wanted things to work out.
Yeah, it's like you're watching the 1% of the 1%, but they're the 1% by tricking people into donating money at their ridiculous church. And you see, they've all got separate mansions. They live in this big compound with separate mansions all spread out over this area. And
so much money.
It's so much money.
But you hear about this all the time. you said you're not really that familiar with Televangelist, but it is a big part of our culture here. Like, well, I wouldn't say big part, but like it's inescapable. It's always on TV, whenever you want, and these people are just like milking um, poor, I don't want to say suckers. How do I say it? Like people who are vulnerable, for
Sure.
money, and they're claiming it's going to God, but you see them and they got these like these perfect teeth, and they got this tan skin and expensive clothes, and they have their own jets, and you're like, what's this money really going to? Like,
Yeah.
it's gross. It's very like Jim Baker and Tammy Faye Baker were a big thing in the 80s, that kind of started the whole like giant church and televangelist. Well, maybe not them. Maybe it was more of the Liberty University guys, Jerry Falwell, that might have done, like, these are household names. Like, we know them in the U.S. because it's inescapable, and we all know that they're truly not good people.
It's just like
So it is nice to watch TV. Like, even people who are religious are like, yeah, they're spreading a good message, but we would rather go to our local church than
Sure.
support that.
Oh, and we'll get into that. There's an element of this episode about almost the idea of the church mall taking over all the small like church stores. It's like
the mom and pop church.
Yeah, the mom and pop churches are getting taken over by the big corporate church that's coming out of town. But we'll get to that in the plot.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like I can't remember. I don't think it was Red Cross, but it was one of the big charities, like one of the big ones that are everywhere, right? And I remember there was like a photo of like the head of that charity driving a Ferrari, and it's like, if you really care about what you're doing, maybe drive a cheaper car and donate some of your money.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
Yeah, not necessary. Not a necessity at all. So it's funny to see characters like this be made fun of, and it's not necessarily like poking fun at religion as a whole. I mean, you could take it that way if you want, but I think it's more about people like this.
It's a niche type of religion.
It's about people who are taking advantage within that, I think, rather than poking fun at everything in general. Even if there will be some jokes that do kind of poke fun of all of it. And yes, we are both atheists. We're both going to find humor in that and get a kick out of it. Anything that points out the hypocrisy of this sort of stuff is going to tickle my funny bone, and that's just the way it's going to be. So,
yeah.
And so I said, actually, when I said we were going to cover this, I think I maybe on the last Our Boys review, I implied that we just did the first one because I thought it was a half-hour comedy. I didn't realize it was like a full 60-minute like comedy drama.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be very much like the other shows that Danny McBride did with HBO.
Are they 30 minutes or are they like this?
No, they're a full hour, but okay. I expected it to be a comedy, but you were saying like it's a comedy. It's not like it's going to have like a big story or anything. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, all the other ones do, so.
Yeah, I've not seen those. So I guess we're at the point now where I'm actually, I kind of want to watch more of this, and I think we're going to review.
Well, I'm definitely going to keep going. Yeah. I don't know if you want to keep going with the reviews, but.
Oh, no, we can. If we're going to watch it, we may as well.
All right.
We may as well.
We'll keep it going.
Now, we can record on Mondays, though, which means the reviews for these will always be sometime late Tuesday, early Wednesday, so it's not as quick as we like to get them out typically, but yeah, we'll keep them coming. Why not? But
Episode 2, we get Walton Goggins, so I'm definitely watching.
I do like Walton Goggins, my man from The Shield.
Hateful Eight.
Yeah, he's in Hateful Eight, but even in Hateful Eight, it was in Django as well. Come on, Django Unchained.
Yeah, but I love the Hateful Eight.
Yeah, and I love Django Unchained. Django Unchained.
That is a great movie.
Django Unchained is like my second favorite Tarantino movie. I love Django Unchained.
Hateful Eight. When I first saw it, I thought, I don't know if this is my favorite, but I still really like it. But I just kept finding myself watching it over and over again, and it has crawled its way to the top of my list of Tarantino films.
Do you happen to know off the top of your head what my favorite Tarantino movie is?
Kill Bill?
Yeah.
You like strong women.
I do. Strong women are great. Just like the hit television show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, yeah, full spoilers. Full spoilers for episode 1 of The Righteous Gemstones. So, the plot of this is that Jesse is being blackmailed because they send him a video, and he's got a wife, Tess Tess Mercer from Smallville, his wife, and
Oh,
what's her
she's from
name?
Smallville.
Yeah,
She's hilarious in this
yeah,
episode.
she's Amber, um, and she isn't
She's
aware
a
of
trophy.
this. Sorry.
She's a trophy.
Oh, she's a trophy wife, yeah. Although she tries to pretend that he's the catch. You know, he comes in at one point and she's got like all these like friends around her. He's like, I'm so lucky, isn't he a
Hi,
gem?
ladies.
And they'll just sort of pause and then go, oh yeah, 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 he's great, yeah. Yeah, he's the best. But so he's sent this video of him snorting cocaine with a topless lady and a completely naked dude with his dick flapping around. And it's like, hey, this might be a bit of a scandal if this gets out. This, the heir to the gemstone, like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to say fortune. I was trying to say legacy, like the heir to the
Yeah,
gemstone
that's probably a
legacy.
good word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Although clearly fortune.
Also fortune, yes. There's a fortune too. Because I love how like he's like 45 or whatever, and he still gets an allowance from dad. Like it's not like he just gets a wage or
Oh
a
yeah.
salary.
Goodman Eli is clearly in charge of
Yes,
everything.
yes, he controls all the money. He controls everything, the private jet, all the rest of it.
Hmm.
Um, so a lot of the actual plot deals with him. I think we'll get to that in a bit, but I want to just go through some of the moments that I really like. I love the idea of like the four local like pastors coming by to like say, hey, you're opening this big new like stadium sized like church, and we're worried that you're going to take all of our flock away. Could you not go to this town that only has one little church and maybe you know like
Do you
not.
think it was a choice to make all four of them kind of look like mobsters?
I can see that, yeah. Yeah, the idea that this is almost like being a mob boss and this is their territory, but there's new guys coming in and taking over all the
Yeah.
territory. I can see
I
that.
thought, man, these guys look really cool for a bunch of pastors. And it's like Dermot Mulroney is like the lead guy who comes
Hmm.
back later.
Yeah, because he ends up like after because Goodman basically says in this scene he's like, well, yeah, but if we go there, there's clearly not a lot of demand because there's only one small church. But if we go to where you four churches are, there's demand. So
Hmm.
sorry, bye. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, it's not worth it if there's not a lot of believers there, but if we go to a place that already has a lot of believers because you guys have a nice flock, then that'll be worth it.
Yeah, you've got 1,200, you've got about 1,000, you have about 700. Yeah, we'll take all those in.
Yeah, and if they come to our church, I guess you guys weren't really that good at your job.
Yeah, this was totally the mall coming in and screwing over all the small businesses. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it felt
Yeah.
like to me. It was a corporate religion versus,
Hmm.
as you say, the mum and pop. So no, I thought that was a really fun thing, and like he kind of confronts John Goodman at like when they're going to dinner after their service, which again a detail I loved is so after they do a little bit of you know raving and ranting about God or going to China or whatever. Here's look at the photos of us with the Chinese people. Look how great it is. Um,
Yeah, the stage that is just so
it
like
was like it
overdone.
looks like the X Factor or Pop Idol or whatever.
It does.
It
Yeah.
looks like one of those.
Yeah.
And they've got like a band, of course, a Christian rock band comes out, and this is when the donation baskets go out, and we just see like tons of people putting out these donation baskets. And what I loved about this is at the end of this scene, and it's actually very fitting you brought up that mob comparison because this scene afterwards reminded me of like Goodfellas, like or
Hmm.
even Casino.
Yeah, that's what I thought of
Yeah,
too.
when they're in the back and they've got
I kept
baskets of
expecting
money.
Pacino to walk, or not
Yeah,
Pacino,
De
whatever,
Niro.
Ray Liotta to like walk through
Or
or
yeah, or
something, you know?
yeah, like because it's just them and the baskets of money, and they've got all the money counting machines and stuff. I'm like, this feels like a mob or a casino movie where they're all in the back, like counting, getting their earnings. It's like this big industrialized thing. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, really well done.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. Um, so no, I liked all that stuff, and that was it, except for how it ties into the other plot. Because then Diane McBride thinks that this head pastor out of this group are the ones blackmailing them, so that takes us to the other plot. But I want to talk about the scene at the dinner table when they're in this restaurant because there's this glorious moment where because they keep making fun of the fiance Keith of Judy's fiance, and he's not supposed to be living with her because they see that as a sin, and he kind of like sticks up for himself a little bit because they're making fun. He's like, no, you never like invite her to anything. This for as religious as this family is, you're not very progressive. All the women are still like expected to do what they're told and don't have a say in anything. And I laugh so hard when Amber, Jesse's wife, says, well, let me just tell you, actually, sorry, honey, can I say something? And then he's like, yes, you can. And then she like, finishes her point. And I just laughed so hard. It was so good.
Yeah, that was probably the best line in the app. I also just broke down at that point. Like,
yeah, because
so well done.
Because that one before this was when they were bickering at the memorial for the mum. And again, the two guys, Jesse and Kelvin, are sniping at each other. And eventually the subject of her fiance comes up. And she's like, my fiance is great. He's not just some boyfriend, Dad. Like, we're going to get married. He's going to be a gemstone soon. And that's what Jesse's like, I don't know about him. Maybe he's not the right fit for the family. I mean, I saw a post on the Facebook. He's a abortion supporter. And he's pro-abortion.
Like, yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
No, he loves babies.
Yeah. No, he loves babies, all right? It's like, no, he wants to kill babies. Yeah. It just turns out this bickering fight about abortion, and it really made me laugh. That was the first scene that really got me chuckling. Was that argument. Was that argument. Also, Jesse's got a son who's about like 12 or whatever, who claims to be an atheist and is going to run away to the city like his brother Gideon, who's just absent.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to clarify. Keith is the name of the guy who lives with Kelvin. BJ is the name of the fiance.
Oh, BJ is the fiance. Apologies. Yeah, Keith's actually a pretty great character in of himself.
Yeah, he's a former Satanist.
Yeah, he's got
who's been saved.
He's got
by, I presume Kelvin Gemstone.
Yeah. Because he's got like 666 on his chest and a tattoo. He's got like other satanic things. Hails, praise Satan and things all over his body. And he just kind of hangs out. He's got a very sort of calm speaking style. He just hangs out where Kelvin is, and
yeah, he's a really interesting character.
There's a Time Cop poster in his living room.
I know,
which is great.
Thanks to the Righteous Gemstones for advertising the Ace,
I know.
our bonus episode of Time Cop.
Yeah, you can go get our Time Cop review on Patreon for just $1 per month. Me and Tara talked about it for 2 hours. Yes, that's right. Longer than the movie itself. Oh dear.
We had a lot to say.
We did.
There's some really great splits in that film.
I thought it would be funny and see like those deep themes, and there's like, the nature of man and life itself.
Say what you will about that movie, it is so watchable.
Oh, it is. Absolutely is. Absolutely is. So Kelvin was an instant favorite in the family just because of that poster. I mean, that just right away. Just right away. Some weird dialogue here where he's like, oh, I slept in, and Kelvin's like, oh, I told you could sleep in my bed. It's fine. Like I said, you could use my bed, but I'm not here. He's like, no, there was a weird energy in there, so I slept in here on the couch. He's got this really
without a blanket. The family seems to be like making fun of him for maybe being gay, but I don't know if I get that vibe from him. Because he seems to really he seems to care about Keith, but more in like a brotherly or friend way, not like a potential lover way.
I mean, yeah, they could go whatever way with it. Right now, they could go either way. I think right now I'm just enjoying the dynamic because he's such a weird character.
He's such a bizarre character.
This depressed ex-Satanist is a really funny idea. So no, but I loved everything with all that stuff. So I think now we can get into the main plot of the episode, which is the blackmail itself. And he's told to come to this place as soon as he gets the video, and he's told that he's got a date to get them $1 million. And he's like, I don't have that.
Yeah, that's when we find out that he gets an allowance because he spent too much money.
So he has to somehow get the money without his dad knowing. So he tries to go to the finance guy, the guy who sort of runs everything on the compound. He's like, I'm not doing that without your dad's permission. You crazy.
But God told me that he wants you to do it. And that doesn't work.
He also tells everyone who's like, because there's like a bunch of packing guys around who are like stocking the gift shop stuff or taking it off the truck, and he's like, could you all give us the room, please? They don't walk somewhere else to have a private conversation. No, they're going to take over the whole docking area where the truck is.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, God bless you, yeah, F off, God bless you. He just is leaving the room. But he ends up confessing when he can't get the money that way. He confesses to Kelvin, and he takes them into like this little home theater room where he shows them the footage on the big screen. And I laugh really hard because he pauses it after a bit, and he ends up standing right in front of where the fat naked guy's penis is, and Kelvin goes, "Who's that?" And then the fat guy, because there's a few people in the room, and the fat guy in the room just goes, "That's me."
I know. So you find out like everyone else in the room is involved in this blackmail technically because they're all in the video.
Yeah, most of them I think are the rock band. The long-haired guy definitely was. He was one of the Christian rock group.
Yeah.
So they're all part of the show in some way.
I think the big guy is like a security guard or something. Yeah.
So really fun stuff, and then. Yeah, and it becomes this thing where he wants to try and basically instead of getting the money, he's sure it's this pastor guy, right? This pastor guy is who's behind the blackmailing. So he wants to, break in and threaten him. And what did they call the sticks? The little
I don't know. They're like pressure point sticks. I don't remember.
They're basically pens that are supposed to be like nunchucks or something like that. I'm not gonna lie.
They kind of look
like a sex toy. Let's be honest.
They look like sex toys.
They look like a sort of like a thin dildo or whatever. I don't know.
He said he got him at a gas station because some salesman talked him into it because apparently you can. I don't know. Clearly he has no idea what a weapon is or what a weapon looks like.
Especially since he gives Kelvin a pink one. He says, "Why'd you give me the pink one?" No reason. But that one especially like a sex toy. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. For I'm not even going to speculate as to what they're for. I like.
We're so innocent.
I feel like I know a lot of the sex toys. I don't know what this one. If I was to make a guess, I'd say you ram it up your ass. But I mean, that's just a guess. It's just a guess.
Yeah, it had ridges.
It had ridges. I mean,
none of them started vibrating. So I mean,
honestly, I was expecting.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they are just like novelty pens.
I was expecting the joke ending to be that one of them started vibrating because they accidentally pressed the button or something. I was like, oh,
yeah, that would have confirmed it.
That would have confirmed it. As it is, I feel like it's just for a tighter person's asshole. That is all. That's my guess. That's my guess. You want to get into anal, but you just can't shove the regular things up there. You just want to do something a bit easier. It's a beginner's anal toy.
I don't know. The pink one had a real nasty point at the end. I think we should move on.
It's a enema assist kit. That's what it is.
Clearly, we have no idea.
We have no idea what these things are because the name was like a Pinchaku or something. It wasn't that, but it was something like stupid like that. Yeah,
like some kind of a nunchuck ripoff. Yeah. I don't know.
But he gets the others together because Kelvin wants no part of it, and they put on the balaclavas. They're going in to like attack this guy. Of course, when they go in to get him, he hears them coming and just blasts out because he's like, of course, he's a carpenter. He's making like a rocking chair.
Yeah, he's in his wood shop. He's surrounded by like tools and actual weapons.
But he grabs his shotgun and actually shoots one of them. One of the bigger guys I think it's the fat guy, goes down. And they just run away. And he calls Kelvin and says, "Oh, so-and-so's been shot." And he happens to be with Judy at this point. And Judy, because during this, Kelvin came out of Judy's house, and for some reason BJ decided to like hide by like being on all fours and looking around the corner. And Judy tries to deny it.
He's so incapable of anything. He can't even like hide in a good spot.
Yeah, he's useless. And that's the thing though. Like I don't even understand why she said hide, because I'm like, just stay in a room that's not like hide in the suite bathroom. You know, the bedroom. Your brother's not going to go in there.
I know. He even tries hiding behind like her vanity stool, and it's like it's like a foot tall. Like you can't hide behind that. Why are you so bad at this?
But so she gets filled in on what's going on, and he has to meet the blackmailers in an hour at this retail park, and basically she's got some tricks up her sleeve because she goes to it looks like is that a classroom? It looks like a school, right?
No, I think it's the church.
It's the church, so it's like
It's
a
probably like a classroom area for
yeah.
like Sunday school or something in the church.
And in the vents, in the ducts up top, she has hidden wads and wads of cash, and apparently,
Apparently over $1 million.
yeah, and apparently this is something she learned from her mom about like keeping money by for herself or something like that. Like, so
Giving a little off the top.
yeah, so they bring money and they pick up Jesse and they go to meet and these two guys that are black men have got masks on. One's got like a demon mask on and well, a little detail I loved about this is that he'd cutting holes in his hood because he's got a hoodie on and he'd cutting little holes in his hood so that the horns would come out the hood. I like that.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
touched. Yeah. He's dedicated to his bit. That's what I like. I like to see it. So they come out and there's a little joke at first about how he leaves the other two in the car. And like, no, I'll get them to come out too. And they're standing there. He's got 2 bags of money, and it's like, you know, you come to us. Like, no, I'm not. You come and get the money. And he hands over the money.
Yeah, they tell him to go to the back of the van, and he's like, I don't think so.
Yeah, and they come over to get the money. Just one of them, and Jesse pulls out his pinchaku thing, and just stabs him with it. Like
I think like through the jaw.
Yeah, he does it quite viciously. And the one in the van starts shooting at them, and they just kind of run back to the car with the money, might I add. And this was the physical comedy part for me of the episode, where they actually run over him, kind of accidentally. The one who's already down, they run over him.
I know. They have a whole empty parking lot, and they still run over him on accident, and it's believable the way they do it.
It totally is. And then, but my favorite part of this though is the other guy's out and he's up near the body and he starts shooting at them from a distance. And Diane McBride's like, nah. He starts backing up. And what I love about this moment though is not just that he backs up, sort of does like a you know a proper like 90-degree turn and then hits him in reverse. It's that this whole thing takes place in one shot from the camera being outside the windscreen of the car, and then the camera just sort of goes up. It's obviously on a crane, and it picks up a little bit, and it goes to this big wide shot of the whole car park, and we just see it very awkwardly, him kind of returning and like try to chase him because he's in reverse, so it's kind of awkward. He can't quite aim the same way that he could if he was driving forward, so he has to kind of do this weird turn, and then he hits him, and I love like this over the top comical like hit that it does, where you just feel this thud, and he goes under the wheel, and then he drives back over him before he leaves. And the whole thing is just this one shot, one take thing. And I'm sure there's some trickery over like switching the person who was running after and then like something that he could actually hit. But like it's all seamless in one shot.
It's really well done.
And that's what makes it funny. If they'd cut around, it might still have been a bit funny. But the fact that it happens all in one shot is what made it hilarious. Because it felt real. Even though it was stupid looking, it felt real. And that's what's beautiful about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I maybe took all the good points there. I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
But that was really
good. It was a surprise dark ending for people who haven't watched Vice Principals.
No, if it's going to keep getting dark like this, then I am on board. This is for me what sold me on the like.
Yeah, I think this is telling you what the tone is going to be. So don't expect that you can predict where it's going. This
dark sense of humor is what I'm in for. I was not expecting this. This makes me think that I should go back and watch Vice Principals at some point if this is.
Oh yeah, I think you would really like it.
So
because Walton Goggins is so good in it.
Yeah, I like Walton Goggins. I'm a big fan of The Shield. That's how we got into Tarantino movies earlier, but I knew him from all 7 seasons of The Shield, which is a fantastic show from FX. Fantastic.
I've heard. Never watched it.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe one day. I can't commit to TV. I can barely commit to HBO.
I've never met someone else who's watched The Shield. It really upsets me.
Really? I thought everybody's watched The Shield.
Nah, not the people I meet, unfortunately.
All right.
Such a good show. The season 5 finale of The Shield's like one of the...
I'm not good at TV. Unless it's Star Trek.
That's a Star Trek. Hey, you're doing a good job there. This is like the second ongoing show you're reviewing right now. You've got like a whole like review slate right now. You're like a pro.
Look at me. I'm like Judy, worming my way in. I'm going to get my own show, damn it.
Oh yeah, Tara Time.
I'm a mild fluzzer too.
Tara Time with Tara. Every Wednesdays at 8 Central. You've got your own show. You created the Ace with me. That's half your show.
You're right.
And you review more TV than anyone but Connor. Well, all of me. I'm on all the reviews though. Like, but you're the most regular
I don't know how
co-host
you do it.
outside of Connor. So, how do I do it? It's my full-time job. That's how I do it.
It's true. I do have a full-time job.
Yeah. And you know, it is a lot, but here we are. We get to watch a lot of TV. No, I like this first episode a lot. I think it was funny. It made me, because I was worried. I was worried that I was going to find it obnoxious. I really was. Like I started it and I was like, I'm going to be annoyed by these characters. I'm going to be annoyed by this.
Yeah, I'm surprised you wanted to watch it because I know how you feel about Danny McBride, which is not a sentiment I share. I agree those two examples are not good because I don't like those movies either.
But those are my
And
examples.
I guess
Those are my examples. I don't have any other favorite reference for them, really.
yeah, but my frame of reference is the HBO stuff that I've seen him in, and it's all really good. Eastbound and Down is also really, really good.
What a shock! HBO makes good TV shows. I'm baffled by that.
They've had some duds.
Oh yeah, you're right. Game of Thrones exists. You're right.
Well, I disagree with that statement. Although there are many who probably do agree with you now after the last season.
Yeah, but I just want to make clear though, I had that feeling when it started, not just when it got bad towards the end. I just want to make that clear. I never liked Game of Thrones.
You're right. Yeah. I did not have that feeling. I liked it the whole way through, but I'm not going to get caught up in it. Yeah, there have been other HBO things that I thought they could do no wrong, and then I watched it and went, oh, actually, that wasn't very good. I didn't like. There was a movie they did with Oprah called it's about Henrietta Lacks, and it was just so messy and difficult to follow and get through. And usually, when you have Oprah like in a movie, it's a huge deal, and she's an amazing actress, and she doesn't need to work. She's Oprah. So when she chooses something, you're like, this must be important. I need to watch it. And it was not good.
I can't wait to see
HBO.
I can't see where Righteous Gemstones. I can't wait to see where Righteous Gemstones goes. And you've basically become the almost official HBO co-host, barring things that me and Connor have already started.
I mean, I don't know how you didn't enjoy Chernobyl, so
it's his,
he
yeah,
brought
his
this
fault.
on himself.
It's his fault.
Maybe he needs to get checked out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he's got some problems. He's got some problems. But yeah, on that though, me and Connor will be doing the Deuce season 3 when it starts early next month. So you can look forward to that from us. We do have other shows though. Me and Tara are also reviewing Our Boys right now, the Israeli HBO original. In fact, we're recording the next episode of that in like a couple of minutes right after we're done with this. And we are going to be looking at other things in the future. I don't know where that sentence was going. I lost track of my mind because I was trying to think of what I was about to say beforehand. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so this is a bit of shambles at the ending, but that's okay. But yeah, Righteous Gemstones is pretty good. We will be back for episode 2 next week, so hopefully you come back and join us for that, and we can, try and figure out the insanity, I guess.
Pull it together, man.
I'm here.
Let's wrap this up.
I'm here. I'm good. Yes. So if you enjoy our review or discussion and you want to see more, obviously you can subscribe and you can like and all that. Hit that bell if you want the notifications for all the content we do. You can, of course, support us that way. You can support us as well by giving us a review and rating on your audio podcast app. If you listen to the audio version, the Almost Cancelled TV reviews. Keep in mind there's also Almost Cancelled Netflix original reviews as a second audio feed for all the Netflix shows. You can do that. You can also support us financially. How can they do that, Tara? Where can they do that?
Oh, you could check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/MouthfuzzTV, and it's you could donate as little as $1 per month, and that gives you a bunch of bonus stuff, like bonus episodes of other shows we do. Some shows you get a week early. Check it out.
Yeah, that is the equivalent of us going around with the basket at the church and being like, hey.
But it goes to a good cause.
It goes to a good cause. And I'm not even close to having a mansion yet, so don't let that thought sway you. If you want the content to keep coming, go to Patreon and support us. Anyway,
maybe someday you'll get like a good pair of headphones.
Yes. What's wrong with these headphones? Insult my headphones.
I thought they were giving you trouble.
I mean, they have been acting up a little bit recently, I suppose. Yeah, that's a good point. I thought you were making a sly comment.
I mean, it costs money to put stuff out too, right?
Oh, it does. Absolutely does. All the equipment and all the TV subscriptions and
Plus, I'm expensive. Like,
Yeah, Tara's
you pay
expensive.
me a lot.
I do. I do. She gets bonuses as well and overtime. But that's us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?